Alright guys, what's going on? Steve Mingleco, Final Web Design, and today I want to talk about the past week in crypto and what has happened to make it the worst week ever, the bloodbath that has happened at the FTX exchange, and the downward spiral of the Bitcoin, the Ethereums, and other cryptocurrencies. So let's get into it. Final Web Design, this is Steve. Alright guys, so as you know, this past week we have seen an absolute situation, to say the least, in the whole crypto market. Everything from Bitcoin to Ethereum to FTX, everything is really taking a big hit, and everybody's trying to figure out what is going on. We've seen a situation where I think a lot of people are getting this feeling that crypto has become almost a Ponzi or a scam. And by no means do I think that's the case, but I do think that there's a lot of red flags out there that we need to start taking a closer look at and making sure that if you don't believe in this technology and this future, then you'd really stay out of it, because it's not for everyone. It's not an area where I think the average person should be hopping in. I think you really have to understand what you're getting into and the volatility behind it all. Because it's just bouncing too much, and at this time where the US dollar has been getting stronger, it's really hard to recommend putting your good hard currency into something that's so volatile. And that's the situation that we're finding right now. Everything from Dogecoin to Ethereum to Bitcoin, they've all just been in these super skyrockets, downward spirals, ups and downs. It's just way too volatile for the average person. So why don't we take a look at what's happened this past week and kind of imagine where things are going from here and what the future is, because this last week's been really difficult. So if you've heard about the FTX exchange, they have basically completely crashed, and this was a huge project. It was based out of the Bahamas, and it was supposed to be kind of the future of crypto and currency in general. A lot of big players were trusting the system and the people behind it to make sure that the market for crypto and crypto exchange would go further. And unfortunately, what's happened is there was a lot of bad things going on in the background. Again, it was headquartered out of the Bahamas, so you have to understand that there's already a lot less regulation than a crypto exchange that is headquartered out of the US. And it was supposed to be able to buy, NFTs and be able to move crypto around easily and transfer funds easily. Unfortunately, it has completely crashed. And actually, the owner or the CEO of FTX, Sam Friedman, he lost, I think, $30 billion in one day. 30 billion. I think that's one of the biggest losses of individual wealth ever. We're putting Bernie Madoff up for competition here, because this is just such a large amount of money. And it's very scary because a lot of people have their money in there. They're not able to pull it out. They're not able to move it. They're not able to access their funds, and that's a huge red flag. So they were supposed to get on the coin exchange, and basically the book said that there were some fraudulent things going on and that there were things that needed to be addressed before they were going to be allowed to access the exchanges. And when that happened, it completely crashed. So let's take a look here at why everything is kind of happening how it is, and what I think is going to kind of bring crypto back, because I don't see crypto ending by any means. It's not going anywhere. This might be a 5-year, recovery. This might be a 10-year recovery. But at the same time, if you're really in this to the long term, then this really shouldn't be an issue for you, because it's just something that happens in the industry. This is a new technology. I mean, money, currency has been around for thousands and thousands of years, since coins and other golds and silvers, whereas this crypto technology is very new. And that's why I say, for the average person right now, I don't think you should be getting involved in this. I think it is just way too many ups and downs. I think if you really don't understand the blockchain and the technology behind it, just stay out. It's not worth it. Put your money in the S&P, put your money in real estate, put your money in more secure ventures. And for me, I'm not a huge crypto either. Like, I have a little crypto because I want to learn and I want to experience and I want to, play with it a little bit. I spent a lot of time in El Salvador where they actually accept Bitcoins. So to me, a couple $1,000s to kind of learn the technology and learn how the system works is okay. I didn't put tens of thousands of dollars in crypto, and I don't recommend anybody else does right now either until there's more regulation and things like that. I also think what the problem that we're seeing with crypto is that it's just become, too many ups and downs, and people are trying to pump it for cash. They're trying to make money out of a system that is really supposed to replace cash. So if you look here over the last, year, you can see Bitcoin, wow, 64,000, and now it is currently down to about 17 as of today. And I never thought it would go below 20 or like 19 as it fluctuated there. I thought that was a pretty solid number. But I also think, like, as this economy's gotten harder and more difficult, people are finding it more difficult to keep their funds into the blockchain and to keep their funds into the Bitcoin. So you can just see here over the last year, it has just completely collapsed, which is really, really sad. I mean, it's sad. And you could say buy the dip, but you know what? The dip just keeps dipping. So I would probably stay out of buying any dips right now and just kind of see what happens here. Now, could it pull, another shoot up? Absolutely. It could. Look at this. I mean, here we are at 9,000 in the beginning of or at the end of 2020, and it just completely went up to 50, 60K overnight. And that could happen again. It dipped here, it dipped back here. It's gonna dip. That's just the blockchain. It's not meant to continuously grow forever. However, we are at a point now where, I mean, if you put your money in here at 60,000, 55,000, 65,000, you're in a position where now, I mean, you just leave that in there because you don't want to take that out because you're going to lose, 70% of the funds you put in there, which is just hard number to eat. And that's just a problem. Now, if you are kind of interested in getting into crypto, I would say maybe now, if you want to test the waters, things are relatively cheap. But just, be vigilant because this is probably going to continue to fall a little bit more. And then let's take a look at Ethereum, which just moved over to the Ethereum 2. And again, you can see here, there's been a consistent dip from almost about 4,000 a coin down to today we're at 1,200. So it has continued to go down. Here, though, if you look actually about June, July-ish, you could see that it actually was further down. And then I think here's where the Ethereum 2 came out and it kind of pumped a little bit and then it went back down. So let's take a look at the last year. Completely, downward spiral. But again, if you go back over the course of the entire blockchain's history, you can see this isn't the first time it's done this and it won't be the last. But that's where I say that crypto's just become way too ups and downs for the average person to be investing in. You can see as it came down here, back to 2,000, back up to, 5K almost, 4,600, big number, back down to about 2,500 and back down to about 1,200. So where are things going from here, guys? Well, it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. I honestly think crypto is just too complicated for the average person to understand. The blockchain is too complicated. But will the blockchain still be here in 5 years? Yes. Will the crypto market still be here in 5 years? Yes. The problem is that it's not practical to use in money situations on a day-to-day basis. And again, as the dollars continue to get stronger, it's harder to justify taking your good U.S. dollars, which are backed by the U.S. government, and putting them into something that's not backed by anything but corporations. And it's hard to justify that, and I get that. And that's why I say maybe, if you want to learn and play around, it's a great thing. When I do send money overseas, I do often use Bitcoin because the exchange rates, like if I use a Western Union or something, it's going to be much more expensive than if I just send the money through the blockchain. So there are a lot of practical uses, and I do think long term crypto will become more mainstream, but it might not even be in our lifetime. It might be the next generation. It might be another 10 years down the road as we get older. And that's where the problem lies, is that just too many people don't understand the whole process of where crypto is and how to use it all. And I think also we're seeing is just too many bad actors. You have entire countries like, North Korea and Russia and things like that are using crypto to kind of manipulate the system and get around a lot of the sanctions and things that are out there to prevent them from, using their own currencies. And that's where I think we're seeing a lot of issues with the system, is that there's just no way to regulate it and make sure that it's being used by good uses. Too much money laundering and things like that are happening within the blockchains that just make it a very volatile situation and give people a lot of red flags as far as if they should be using this going forward. So with that being said, FTX has completely crashed. I think that this might be one of the biggest losses in financial history, seeing what's happened here. Bitcoin is on the complete move down. Ethereum is also on the move down. But again, Ethereum has a lot of new technology, so hopefully that will rebound here. But at the end of the day, guys, I would just say that we can't really predict what's going to happen here. There's too much ifs going on, and I would just say probably stay out. If you want to learn about it and play with a little bit about it, do that, but don't be investing in it like it's a future thing. I do think it will go back up. Clearly it has before. It's gonna again. But at this stage it's just way too much going on, and it's been a really, really tough week. I don't think it'll collapse crypto. There's just far too many practical uses, again, with the money transfer being digital and being able to send it here and there without fees. But at the same time, it's been a tough week, and I don't see it getting any better. So if you guys enjoyed this video, give a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.